Hi everyone. So today we're going to be looking at the Dove campaign that takes place in Japan. So the Dove Real Beauty Pledge, which has been an ongoing campaign since 2004, their mission is to have beauty is for everyone. Dove invites all women to realize their personal potential for beauty by engaging them with products that deliver superior care. Their values are that they believe that beauty should be a source of confidence and not anxiety. Dove wants to inspire women to want to look their best because looking and feeling your best makes you feel happier. A brief background of Dove as a whole organization is that they were created in the United Kingdom in 1955. They are known to produce personal self-care items such as deodorant, body washes, beauty bars, moisturizers, hair care products, and facial care products. So we created a SWOT analysis for Dove itself. A SWOT analysis consists of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The strengths are that Dove is an international company. They are well known for most countries. They're not just used in the United Kingdom. Dove has built a reputation for themselves, especially being created in 1955. They have continued to develop a well-known reputation. Dove started the campaign in Germany and the United Kingdom before expanding into other countries. So the Dove Real Beauty campaign was taking place in these two other countries, and with the success of it, they decided to expand the campaign. Weaknesses are that Dove does not have a lot of experience with the Southeast Asian culture. Of course, the Western culture and the Southeast Asian culture are different. Dove typically focuses on the West, westernized culture. Their opportunities is that Dove collaborated with ADK Tokyo, which is an advertising agency, and then Dove was able to expand their market into another region of the world, so they were able to step foot into the Asian culture and the other side rather than focusing on the West. Threats is that other organizations that already try to target this issue Dove presented. So there are probably organizations that in Japan that are focused with the country and the culture that have tried to target this real beauty campaign before Dove brought it along. The political system in Japan is that they have a multi-party parliamentary democracy. They have a prime minister. They also have a monarch, and then their ruling party is the Liberal Democratic Party, and the opposing party is the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan. Um, they run kind of similar to the United Kingdom by having an emperor that is largely ceremonial, and then they have the prime minister who basically makes the decisions. According to the Freedom House Democracy, their net freedom status is that they are free. They are a part of many international organization memberships. A few of them are the United Nations, G7, G20, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and the World Trade Organization, which is one of the largest when it comes to being an international country. Their corruption perception index is ranked at 18 out of 180, and their score is 73 out of 100. A country's score indicates the perceived level of public sector corruption on a scale of 0, which means that they're highly corrupt, to 100, which means they are very clean. Their economic environment, their GDP per capita is 34,474, which is the 32nd highest in the world. Their purchasing power parity for 2018 was 5.6 trillion. Japan is the third largest economy in the world. They export to the United States. They have a big relationship with the United States, and they also have it with the United Kingdom and other westernized countries. Japan is a high-tech powerhouse economy of Asia. They create many electronics that they are known for exporting, such as computers, different types of technology, automobiles, and steel products. An issue is that the Bank of Japan buys government debt, which makes the economy and price of products fluctuate, and people do not purchase when the price rises. So when the price rises, no one is buying anything, which is an issue. Their media system, according to the Freedom House Democracy, is that the press freedom status is free. Japan is the second largest market for commercial advertising. They have many large networks. Five of them run the national TV like advertising network. They do not really watch imported TV shows. Their print sector is also very influential and highly trusted. In 2017, 94% of the population were online, and their literacy rate is 99%, which has not increased since 1990. They have Japan's broadcasting scene is technologically advanced and lively, with public and commercial media in keen competition.
Cultural dimension model explains how a society's culture affects the way members think, how they act, their behavior, and all that. For power distance, Japan has a neutral standing at 54%, meaning it's not high or low. And this is because the Japanese are taught from a young age that they're all equal and they can become higher level status people if they work hard enough to get there. And the culture in Japan is not as extreme when it comes to power distance as other Asian countries. For individualism, they have 46%, meaning that they incline a little bit more toward the collectivistic culture, which means they care more about the community they're in group rather than just focusing on themselves. And I definitely see this in the campaign because um, videos are recorded of friends talking about how they view their other friends, and then that video is played back to people, and they're able to see how people within their in group think about them, and to them, that's more important than how they view their own self. For masculinity, it is high at 95%. And we see this a lot in Japan because there's a lot of competition between males, and that's a form of expressing masculinity, especially in the workplace. The Japanese like to work a lot, that's a sign of masculinity. For uncertainty avoidance, they have 92%, which is pretty high, and that's because the Japanese are always on edge. They're always threatened by different things, including natural disasters that they need to prepare for. For long term orientation, they have 88%, and this basically states that the Japanese are aware that the actions they do affect the future. For indulgence, they have 42%, which is pretty low. And this just basically says that Japan is a restrained society and the social norms within the culture limit some of people's behaviors and actions because it tells them what is right and what is wrong. The primary audience for this campaign were the girls attending Hiro High School in Minato-ku, Tokyo in 2017, which is when the campaign took place. They are the main audience because Dove went to this high school. They talked to the girls, and the results of the campaign were based on how these girls felt after the campaign. But the campaign itself got so much attention in Japan. There was a lot of conversations, a lot of discussions regarding how impactful it was in the country. So other audiences benefited from it as well. And these audiences include young schoolgirls in Japan and Japanese women. Before going into the high school and talking to these Japanese girls, Dove did research so they could gain more information and get an idea of who they're talking to better understand them. And we learned that Japanese girls rank the lowest in the world when it comes to confidence. As a matter of fact, only 7% of them are confident in the way they look. 5 out of 10 girls have low body esteem, and this limits their activities. For instance, some of them don't go and hang out with their friends or do outdoor activities because they feel self-conscious in the way they look. And lastly, we learned that 4 out of 10 Japanese girls with low body esteem put their health at risk by not seeing doctors or by skipping meals. The way Dove approached its audience was truly unique, memorable, and made the campaign feel more personal, which I think helped it be more successful. Before the campaign, Dove researched the audience to better understand them and to understand issues happening within the Japanese society. That's how they found out that the percentage of girls who are confident in their own skin in Japan is so low. It's the lowest percent in the world when it comes to confidence. I think by conducting interviews, Dove got to connect with its audience and learn more about them, learn more about what they like about themselves, what they don't like about themselves, their insecurities, and they also got to see what others think about other people. For instance, Dove interviewed some girls and asked them to share how they think about their friends, and these girls listed positive qualities and characteristics describing how beautiful and what makes their friend unique. And this information was shared within videos that we see in the actual campaign video, which brought many smiles to people's faces. By going into the high school, listening to the girls, and seeing the end product, Dove really got to connect with its audience and create memorable experiences.
So moving on to key messages. The tagline for this campaign was "Every girl deserves to feel beautiful." And I think the tagline is very straightforward and is the message that Dove really wanted to get across to these girls. Only 7% of Japanese girls feel confident in themselves, and this is causing 4 out of every 10 girls to skip regular doctor's appointments and skip out on daily meals. And then 5 out of 10 girls with low self-esteem avoid social activities such as hanging out with friends, joining school clubs, and participating in other after-school activities. So Dove really wants them to realize how beautiful each and every one of them are through the Dove Real Beauty ID campaign. Now, for the goal, objective, strategy, and tactics for this campaign, the goal behind the Real Beauty ID campaign in Japan was to get young Japanese girls to feel comfortable in their own skin. Like I said, they wanted the young girls to realize how beautiful they are through the eyes of their loved ones. Now for the objectives behind this campaign was to raise the percentage of Japanese girls who feel confident about themselves, since only 7% of Japanese girls consider themselves to be confident. So for the strategies, Dove used the strategy of taking new pictures for the girls' school ID. Dove would play the video of their friends talking about what they loved about them and how they saw their beauty, and would take a picture of the listener's reaction and use that photo as their new school ID. The plan behind this strategy was to get the girls to realize their true beauty, which would result in a higher self-esteem. And the tactics they used for this campaign was they posted a video onto YouTube. So YouTube was their main platform, and this is how it reached their audience and got their message across.
学生証できたよって言って写真をもらった時にこんなになんか暗いっていうか、嫌いなところは肌の色が悪いのと、目小さいのと、顔引きつってるからやばいのと、好きな部分嫌いな部分からでもいいですか？
みんなの学生証の写真を再度撮り直す。
なんかきっとニコって笑った時に目が優しかったり、なんか内面がにじみ出てるんだなって思う時はあります。髪の毛が黒髪で綺麗だなって思います。ちゃんと見ててくれてるんだな。シンプルに笑ったら可愛いんじゃないかな。 もっとみんなといるとき自分らしくなれたかな。魅力として捉えていいのかな。そうやって思ってくれてるんだから少しは自信持とうっていうふうに思いました。もうちょっと自分のことをよく考えてもいいかな。
Dove realized that only 7% of young women in Japan feel confident enough in their appearance, so Dove set out to achieve self-awareness among audiences in Japan. Dove's objectives were to be recognized as a successful campaign in Japan's market, increase positivity among young girls in Japan, and were to make girls understand that they possess their own true beauty.
Implementation. This campaign was distributed using mainly online tactics. They released the campaign video via their agency ADK Tokyo in 2017. The main channel that they used was YouTube, and it was posted on Dove Japan's channel and received 2.9 million views. The campaign received media attention from CampaignAsia.com and was noted as a top 5 most memorable social media campaign in 2018 on JapanBuzz.com. Results and reports of girls' confidence levels in Japan could be viewed on the Dove Global Girls' Beauty and Confidence Report. Overall, there wasn't a lot of social media used for this campaign besides YouTube. Influences. Media relations are highly valued by Japanese public relations practitioners. This includes friendships as they conduct some public relations practices. Public relations is heavily influenced on how honest the client is with the PR staff or agency. If all of the facts are not given, effectiveness is compromised. The public relations environment is different in Japan because they like to bury bad news rather than responding and preventing negative effects. According to PR Week, public relations in Japan is not very global. Public relations in Japan would benefit if there was more awareness of international standards. Japan and the U.S. Dentsu Public Relations have partnered with the National Bureau of Asian Research to improve public affairs capabilities. Dentsu PR will be involved in research on policy issues affecting the U.S. and Japan. The circuit of culture. For representation, social media, specifically YouTube, was the main media channel used to represent and distribute the campaign. For regulation, cultural and social norms in place in Japan regarding beauty among young girls is taken into account when creating this campaign. In the production of this campaign, they strategically targeted young Japanese girls with low confidence. The campaign was consumed by 2.9 million people on YouTube and also received publicity on other sites, such as Campaign Asia. Lastly, the identity of this campaign revolved around confidence and self-love.
In regards to the evaluation, this Dove campaign shocked the nation. This campaign allowed Dove to reposition itself as a personal care brand that advocates for true beauty from within. The reactions to this campaign were mostly positive and helped to increase Dove sales. During the social experiment in the campaign, the reactions of the Japanese schoolgirls on camera to their classmates speaking about one another's beautiful features were nothing short of heartwarming and motivating. This made the girls react with smiles, teary eyes, and a sense of self-worth. In reference to the conclusion of this campaign, it was a public relations success. The Real Beauty ID was very effective in showing society the importance of self-acceptance and true beauty that resonates from within and through the eyes of others. This campaign showed women that they are often too hard on themselves about their appearance, and they aspire to a false perception of beauty that is perceived in the media. This campaign has urged girls to be self-confident. The Real Beauty campaign was put in place to send a message to consumers and not to buy more Dove products, and that's why this campaign was such a success. The reactions in this video have warmed the hearts of many consumers instead of forcing them to buy Dove. Some critiques of this campaign would be that Dove could promote on many different social media sites to spread the message to a broader audience. Dove promoted this campaign on YouTube and through Japan BuzzFeed, but posting this campaign on sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter would help this campaign receive more engagement, more views, and more feedback from consumers. and could also be viewed by potential consumers who would, in return, buy Dove products. Some critiques in the media saw this ad as sexist and possibly the ugly side of Dove's campaign for real beauty. But these negative critiques were quickly overlooked because of all the positivity that this campaign has received. Some recommendations for this ad would to be incorporate men into the campaign and show that both men and women know the worth of true beauty. It would be helpful if men were the ones who reacted to women's beauty. It's prominent in society today that men only admire girls for certain qualities, and it would be beneficial for women to see that they are more than just that perceived image. Dove should promote that men should respect the minds and inner beauty of all women no matter what they look like, and this would receive praise in the media and would help to strengthen Dove's image overall as a personal care brand.